Hello everybody, welcome back to another energy reading for the week of April, 26th, 2021. That's Monday. So for those of you that are not familiar with who I am, my name is Trisha Schinkel. I am your intuitive spiritual healer and coach from innerbuddha.ca. So essentially I am your awakening coach. I help those empaths and healers out there who are struggling and having a hard time on their ascension path, on the path of awakening, going through those dark nights of the shadow of the soul, not knowing what's happening and helping them through all of that and coming out to the other side and then living your dream life. That's basically what it's all about, right? We coming to this earth for a purpose, and sometimes we get lost and we don't know what that purpose is. So I'm here to help guide you along that way and help you find your purpose, help you find your soul path, and to help you live it and breathe it and experience it in every single way. So before we get into the reading, I did want to get into a couple announcements, let you guys know. If you're watching this on YouTube, of course, I do record these in my Facebook group called The Awakening Journey. So if you are, if you wanted to come and join that, you are more than welcome to. The link is in the comments in the show notes below. And don't forget to subscribe if you're watching YouTube. And yeah, also what I wanted to say is to let you guys know that I have some really awesome podcast shows coming up for you guys. So I've been kind of lining up a whole bunch of interviews with a lot of different topics. I'm kind of excited. I'm really excited. I'm nervous and excited and all these things because I have so much coming in and I can't wait to share it with all of you. So, yeah, just coming up the next couple weeks, I'm going to be very, very busy, but I'm also going to be showing up here in the group whenever you need me. Of course, I'm here to answer all your questions and kind of help you along. If you guys are experiencing anything, you know, let me know. I'm here to help you through that, right? But yeah, no, I'm really excited about what's coming up. So what I have been kind of tuning into this week's energy. Now, last week, for me personally, I found the energy, it's funny because now when I look back, when I think about it, I'm drawing a blank. That's my guide's way of saying it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it was. So that's a good message right there. There's a new message for you, is whatever happened last week or the past couple weeks, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. It's like, starting a new slate. Oh, hello, Elizabeth. Thank you so much for sending me the hug. I love it. It's so cute. Yeah, so that's a good message, really. Forget it. It doesn't matter. It's when I tuned into the energy this week, I actually took a couple moments and I'm like, okay, so what is it that needs to come through? What do we need to focus on? And what came through was just presence. It's practicing presence in this now moment. That is super important, right? So a lot of the times we get carried away with our thoughts. We step out of the present moment when we start focusing on the regrets that we have of something not working out the way we wanted it to or the way we thought it should, right? So we sit and we contemplate of how we could have done it better or different or whatever. And then we also step into the worry and anticipation of what could or may not even happen in the future, right? We kind of get stuck and we're never actually really physically present in our now moment, right? And it's easy to get swept away in that form of thinking and form of thoughts, right? So, yeah, Elizabeth says, yes, we are so focused on goals of past and trauma. Yeah, it has to stop. Yeah, it does. It totally does. And this is just one of those reminders to kind of get you present. So before I start my videos, I always like write out everything because I have to remember. So the message that came through was take a couple moments to pause just in this present moment. So just think about things, how they really feel in this moment right now, like things in your life, right? The situations that you're having. So like I said before, we can get wrapped up in the situations that are happening, but then we worry about what may happen and we may get lost in what happened, but it doesn't matter. None of that matters. Before and after doesn't matter. What happens right now is all that matters. And it's actually all that ever matters, if you think about it, right? Because all we ever have is this now present moment. Like right now in this moment, I'm here sitting talking to you. A couple hours ago, I was in a different town visiting my father, cleaning his apartment, right? So those are the present moments. And being in that present moment with my father, it was really amazing because I brought my son out and they were watching my wedding video. And oh, I'm a crier, I'm not gonna lie. And my mother-in-law is a crier. We're all criers. Now I'm thinking about it. It was such a beautiful moment. But then again, right there, see, I'm reliving that moment and I'm tearing up because I'm reliving it. But that's a perfect example of not being present in this now moment. Look at how fast that happened. I got swept away in that thought. It just happened a couple hours ago. But the thing is that it swept me, and we don't even realize that's happening. We get caught in these like riptides. I guess that's the best way to explain it, right? You get pulled out and you don't even notice you're getting pulled out. You just go into the emotion and then you get in this story, right? But now is all that really matters. So me tuning into you and your frequencies and your energies and what you need is all that really matters in this now moment, which is very sacred. And no matter what now moment you're watching this, you could be watching this in a couple days from now, and it's still going to be relevant because in that now moment, you are watching this video, right? Doesn't that blow your mind? So the guides and our angels really, really want us to start becoming more accustomed to practicing presence. It's funny, all the P words that come up when you think about presence, right? So the message that I wrote down was to step out of the regret of the past, to step out of the worry about the future, and really settle in to what it feels like right now in this moment, in your body, in this very second, moment to moment, segment to segment. How does it feel? How does it feel to be present? How does it feel to be in your body? How does it feel to be sitting where you are? How does it feel in the room? How does it feel to have the people in your life that you have in your life right now? Right? Just tune into that for a second. Really get present with it. And just think about it. What is it like? Right? That's interesting. So really feeling into the present moment is going to bring your awareness there. And it's going to happen more and more often the more conscious you are of bringing yourself into that present moment, right? Let me see here. So when you, let me see, I'm reading this. Okay, what can you do to put down these things? So I'm just trying to make sense out of my notes. So there's just basically just kind of getting more and more familiar with how your brain operates and being okay. You don't have to judge it. You don't have to criticize yourself for it. You don't have to beat yourself up because if you notice that you're, getting stuck in these stories forward or backwards, it's just about catching yourself and then just gently coming back, right? With no judgment, just kind of feel into it and be okay with whatever is coming up for you right now. You don't need to change it or fix it. When you're observing, when you're in this presence state of being, nothing actually needs to change. Nothing needs to actually be different. You just have to observe it. And then at that point, then you'll kind of get the messages that need to come forward to you, right? So just being in your body is being present. So leaning into now, you're in this place of being present. You know what's on your physical path, right? You know who's in your physical life. You know what your job is doing. You know what, how your daily schedule is going, right? You're kind of in that moment, in this moment now. Now, I want you to kind of move one step past that and really step into your presence of your soul. The presence of that yearning of wanting to grow and expand. Now, what does that feel like? What does expansion feel like? I want you to think about that for a minute. When you think of the word expansion, what comes to mind? Feel free to put it in the comments, and I would love to hear what you guys feel. But expansion, that's a good feeling to hang on to, especially in the present moment, right? Because I feel that I've always been stuck in contemplation, which is almost like a restricting place, because when you're contemplating, you're afraid to move forward, right? You're not too sure, you're contemplating, right? And this is just things that I just noticed in my own life. But when you step out of contemplation and you go into this place of expansion, then infinite possibilities are readily available to you. And you don't even think of it that way. You don't even have to think of it that way. If you are fully present in your now moment, ideas are just going to come in. Opportunities are just going to start opening up for you because you're willing to observe them and you're not caught up in the story. And the stories that we play in our minds all the time are like blinders. It's like looking at life tunnel vision, because your brain filters out anything that doesn't belong to your tunnel vision, what's in that view, right? But if you open that up and expand it and allow other things to come through, there's infinite possibilities that are going to come and make your life more tasteful, more exciting, more expanding, right? So it's really about leaning into the feeling of what it feels like to connect with your soul. And then lean into the potential that is there. Lean into the possibilities. Now, when I was writing this out, presence, possibilities, potential, all these P words were coming up. And I was like, there's something to the letter P today. I feel like, how Sesame Street's like the letter of the day is P, right? So I took that a little step further and I was like, okay, well, if the letter today for today is P, the number of the alphabet, that's the 16th letter of the alphabet, right? So in numerology, every number means something. There's always hidden meanings in everything, and I like to dissect things and kind of pull it apart. So this is how my brain works, okay? So when I took a look at this, now I want to share this with you because this is very interesting. So when you pull apart 16, so number 1 means new beginnings, independence, self-sufficiency, and self-determination, right? Number 1. And then number 6 means family, harmony, nurturing, healing, home. It's kind of that grounding, right? So it's interesting that infinite possibilities. So the letter P, number 16th in the alphabet, holds these new beginnings of these new potentials of harmony and balance and home and family, and really bringing that together is in just a number. That's just one number. And to a lot of people, it's very insignificant and it doesn't really mean a lot. They're like, oh, it's 16. Okay, great. But no, there's a lot more behind it that you can pick apart and learn from, right? So I thought that was really interesting. I wanted to share that with you because that's just what I go into, right? So 16 is presence with healing. And that's what's really powerful about it, is when you start leaning into these energies, these vibrations, these things that are coming into your life and noticing them, you can really grab a hold of it and learn from it and grow. And that's what this is all about, right? So it's getting familiar with what excitement, potential, possibilities, and presence all feel like, right? All of those things are really exciting and expansion. Like when I think of presence, I think of groundedness, of oneness in my body, right? Presence. And then once you get into that place of your body, of that presence, then you step into potential. Isn't that crazy how it just like dominoes effects, right? It goes from one to another to another. So then possibilities and potential are all kind of lining up from that place of being present, right? See how that all kind of intertwines and comes, it's almost very convoluted, but it's so powerful, right? It's so powerful. So yeah, just about stepping into those, what it would be like to step into potential and possibilities, because sometimes I find that we get stuck in a routine in life and things get stagnant, Stagnation, that doesn't feel good. I'm getting tingles right now. Stagnation, hey? Sometimes we get there and then we get frustrated because we're stuck and we don't know how to look past that. We don't even realize that we can look past that. Sometimes we convince ourselves that we're stuck there. And then we get frustrated and then we create disease in our life. And disease is just dis-ease in your body. It's unharmonious vibrations and frequencies running through your body. Isn't that crazy, right? So just some food for thought, something to think about, something to take in. Presence. That is the theme of the week. How present can you be? That is a good question, right? How present can you be? I find that once you get familiar with what it feels like to be present, it's a lot more easier to step into that vibration. So it's just about really just getting familiar with what things feel like in your body. And then you can use it more and more because then you know how to tune into that radio channel, that frequency, right? And you know how to connect to it. And then you make it active in your body. You activate those frequencies in your body, which then send out messages to the universe to send you more of what you're vibrating at, right? Elizabeth just says it's a really good question. Yeah, it really is, hey? Just something to think about. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig into the active, actually, you know what? I feel like we're going to go into this deck right now. This is my Divine Energy deck for some messages, because I feel like there's something more to this presence game that we can really kind of play with, right? So I ask for our angels and our guides to step forward and give us the messages that are going to give us the messages that for our highest good of this week. Presence. My daughter played with this deck, so now it's all back and forth and I can't look at it because otherwise if I look at it as I'm shuffling, I get in my head. I'm like, oh, is that the card? Okay, here we go. Cool. Okay, so the first one came out was choose your friends wisely. Now it's probably backwards if you are reading it. Choose your friends wisely. So I would say choose anybody, like not just your friends, but your relationships wisely, right? How you interact with people, choose that wisely. Is it for your highest good? Are you, connecting with this person on a deeper level, or are you doing it out of obligation, right? You got to look at the why you spend time with anybody, right? That's a big one. Choose friends wisely, because that could knock you out of your presence pretty quickly. You can go into an unconscious state, which unconscious, I'm not saying like knocked out, sleeping. No, I'm saying like unconscious, like you just shut down and you're just on survival mode, right? And so pay attention to the relationships that really put you into that survival mode. Like I'm just putting up with you just to put up with you and then just to get this moment over with so I can get back to my real life, right? Like pay attention to those relationships and why do you have them in your life? What are they doing for you? My third eye is opening up right now. I can feel it pulsating right now. But that's just it. Like, why do you have that person in your life? What purpose is it serving? Is it something that you're afraid to let go of and that you've known this person for so long that you feel like you have to keep them in your life because of that one reason, is only because you've known them your entire life and you don't know how else to let them go? Right? It's just something to think about. Choose your friends wisely. These are messages coming from your guides, right? So these are messages, whether it pertains to you or not. If this pertains to you, let me know. If this is a situation that you feel like you're in and you're having a hard time with it, reach out to me. I'm here to help you with that, and that's what the coaching is all about. But it's really kind of just making you bring awareness to these areas of your life that you're maybe unconscious of. You're just on autopilot and you don't even realize that you're doing these things to yourself, and you're bringing your vibration down, right? And the whole idea of ascension and awakening is to raise your vibration, to let go of all the things that are holding you down, right? So There you go, Elizabeth says, you're making me cry again. Well, my dear, you have so much to release that is just how it comes out, and that's okay, right? It's hitting home for you because there's something there that you have been hiding from yourself. It's interesting because I've been working on a podcast. This is for shadow work, right? I haven't quite touched it yet, but I'm gathering pieces. And one thing I was watching, I don't know if you guys know who Dolores Cannon is. She's an author, and her daughter has this YouTube show that I watch sometimes. And they were talking about shadow work. And they were talking about how the shadow, quite literally, is absence of light, right? The shadow part of yourself is something that you hide behind yourself that you don't want to see. The shadow, like if you think of a shadow, like it's casting a shadow, like you have light on one side, there's bright light shining through, and it's only when you are your brightest. So when the sun is at the highest point, there is no shadow, right? So that is a very figurative analogy for you, is when you have your vibration, you shine your light the brightest, your shadow can't touch you, right? That part of you that is hidden, that is hard to face, that's you don't know how to work through it, it can't touch you when you're so high. But you can't raise up that high until you face your shadow. That's a catch-22 right there. Anyway, the card that we're talking about is choose your, I would say, relationships wisely, right? Friends, that's a good, choose your friends, choose your, all that. The next card that came up, I don't know, this is what I'm showing, is begin to explore. Begin to explore. So this kind of goes back to what I was literally just talking about. Begin to explore what it feels like to be present. Hi, Kim. Thanks so much for coming on. Mwah. Yeah, so tune into what it feels like. Begin to explore these things in your body, these energies that you're holding. You're activating these vibrations in your body that you are announcing to the universe what to send you, right? Because you attract what you are. So if you're being wishy-washy with a request, or, you know, if you're not too sure what you want to explore, you're going to get wishy-washy things in your life and opportunities in your life, right? So that's why it's really important to be really clear on what you want, where you're going, how you want it, and all of that stuff. And be open to other possibilities of how it wants to come in. But begin to explore what it feels like in your body. Because that vibration, whatever you're feeling, is the signal that you're sending out to the universe to send back to you. Know that. So important. So begin to explore the possibilities. Step into that feeling of possibilities and probabilities. And what else did I write down? Potential, presence, everything with the letter P. We are playing Sesame Street today. But that's just, it's just getting familiar with this place of you and knowing how to turn on that dial and that switch inside of you automatically without, it's just like almost like an everyday thing, like breathing. You know, imagine you being able to switch out of a bad mood on demand. You know what? Just, you're going through this really hard time and you're like, I don't want to feel this way anymore. Okay, switch it. Some people think that's impossible. It's not. It's actually the easiest thing to do once you know how to do it. And that's what I teach with my coaching. So if you are a student of mine, well, student, client, whatever you want to call it, that is something that we go into deep detail with, which is amazing. It's just this most like place of fullest potential that you could ever possibly be in, right? All these P's. Begin to explore. That is a part of the message. Okay, the next one is seek hidden treasures. Seek hidden treasures. Now, when I'm talking about seeking hidden treasures, every story that you hear from somebody has a hidden treasure. The treasure, I would say, is the lesson or the point of the story. What's the point? I'm always like, okay, let's get to the point, right? I'm not always rushing along, but that's how I operate. But I like to know, you know, sometimes you have to go through all of the emotions of the story and let it play out in order to find those hidden lessons or those hidden treasures, right? But then again, think about, what is it that you treasure? What is it that you seek out? What are you seeking out right now? What do you want to be seeking out, but you're afraid to? These are all really good questions to start journaling on. These are all really great questions in general. Whenever I start to journal, I always start with questions. I always start with the questions that I want answered. Like, why am I experiencing this? What's the point in this? Let's get to the end result, right? Sometimes I want to rush to the end too fast and I forget that it's all about the experience. And that's a lesson too that I would like to share with you is, if you try to get somewhere too quickly, you're going to miss all of the little hidden treasures. Seek the hidden treasures, those little nuggets of gold hidden along the way. And what's funny about that is that you are the one who hides these little nuggets of gold in your life to find on purpose. It's like an Easter egg hunt with yourself. And before we come into this earth and before we come into this body and incarnate into this presence, we plan all this out. we plant the nuggets of gold for us to find, which is like, okay, I'm going to tell you this funny joke that this old man told me. He's like, what's the bonus of having amnesia on Easter, right? You can hide your own Easter eggs. It's a bad joke, I know. He thought it was funny. I thought it was funny. And to be honest, I use it a lot. But it's so true because it's all about finding things that you've hidden in these situations, these contracts with other people, your relationships. Like, there's so much gold in everything. It's just being aware that it's even there to begin with in the first place. Because if you don't know to be looking for these things, you won't find them. Or if you see them, you won't even recognize what they really are, right? So I hope all this is making sense. I hope you guys are resonating, connecting with this. But yeah, these are just things that are coming through that I feel that are definitely applicable to this week's energy, right? Okay, so I'm going to quickly just go into our activations deck, my sacred geometry. We want to ask our guides and our angels, what energies do we have to activate in our energy fields this week to make the best out of it? What do we have to activate in our bodies, in our energy fields to make the best out of it? Whew. Interesting. Okay. So the first thing that came up was root chakra. You have to activate your root chakra. Get grounded. Ooh, that's interesting. Grounded into presence. That's interesting. So the card, it says, so the feeling, the energy that we're activating in our energy fields to get a hold of this energy is the frequency of the root chakra, the red flower of life. It stimulates passion and supports our sense of security on the physical plane, both in our bodies as well as the physical world. So really just getting in tune with that place of presence and being in your body and allowing yourself to enjoy whatever it is that's going in your life right now. Not what happened yesterday or the day before, not what may or may not happen tomorrow, right? We don't have to get wrapped up in those things because it doesn't matter. It doesn't. It never did. But we make such a big deal out of it because we're so used to it. That's it. This is a bonus card that actually popped out. I don't usually do 2 cards, but the next one was healing. So once you really activate your root chakra, that's going to actually in turn do a dominoes effect. It's like a snowball. Once you do one thing, another thing's going to happen, right? So once you get rooted into the presence, into the now, you're going to activate the vibration of healing in your body. It's that simple. You really don't need to do anything else. Your body knows how to heal itself. You don't have to do anything. You don't even need medicines. I shouldn't, okay, you know what? I'm going down a route that I shouldn't be. What I'm saying is that your body knows what to do. Your body knows how to heal. And it's activating that presence, that place inside of you that knows how to turn that energy on. It's just been turned off for so long that you're not familiar with it. You don't even remember what it feels like to be in that place of healing, right? So this is a card that your guides decided to bring forth and said, no, what we need to do is get in tune with what it feels like to start healing. Because we are always in this state of fear, anxiety, stress, overwhelm, right? And that's activating those energies in our body, which then tells the universe to send us more, right? So it's about letting that go and getting into a place of pretending, just use your imagination. What does it feel like to heal? What would it be like if I was fully healed? Now, ideas can get in your way, because then you might have the thought like, well, who would I be if I healed? I wouldn't even know how to act or be if I was healed. So sometimes people live in their pain for their entire lives because they just built up an identity around their pain and they just don't know any other way to be, right? But this is about stepping out of that, stepping into this place where you could imagine for the first time, maybe ever, what if I was healed? What would it feel like? What would my life be like? How would I feel every day, like day to day? How would you wake up in the morning? How much more different would your days be if you were healed? What would that be like? Right? That's something to think about, kind of play with, because that way, when you're thinking like that, you are stepping out of the frustration of being in overwhelm and all of these things happening to you and, just making you go into that place of shadow, right? So it's just shifting the thoughts. And right there, as soon as you shift your thoughts, when you stop focusing on what the pain feels like and forget about that for a minute, put that basket down, right? Put the basket of pain down and go over and pick up the basket of healing. Even though you still physically feel pain, that's okay. Just play with it. Imagine, what would it feel like if I did start healing today? What would begin to become more easier? What would I be able to do? What are the possibilities that would bring for me? If I was healed right now, what would I be doing? What could I be doing if I was healed, if I wasn't in this state of mind anymore? Right? It's just shifting that. And that shift is going to build up momentum. The more longer you stay focused on that energy and on those thoughts, the more momentum that's going to build. And you're going to be building momentum to the opposite direction of what you've always been doing. And it's going to feel different, and it's going to feel uncomfortable, and it's going to feel weird. And you'll be like, whoa, I went too far. But that's okay. If you need help, hire a coach. Hi. You know what I mean? That's the thing. It's just about shifting that place from where you are to where you want to be. That is big. Woo! How are you guys feeling right now? Tune in. I want to know. For those of you watching live or the replay, let me know, how are you guys connecting to these messages? What is it bringing up for you? What do you feel noticing coming up in your own body right now? What kind of thoughts are you coming? I really would love to know what's coming up for you right now, because this is a really intense subject, right? This is something that's really going to kind of activate this part of you that could potentially change your life forever. Change your life forever. What would it feel like to change your life forever? What would you want to change it to? Such big things. Okay. I'm going to pull out our last card for today, which is our animal totem. See what animal this week we have a message from. I love it, love it. Here. Here it is. Ooh, we've had this a couple times, I think, but the energy needs to come back, is the dolphin. The dolphin. The dolphin's one of the smartest mammals, by the way. And they're also an extraterrestrial. What? Mind blown, right? Yeah. They are. They're also very, very smart, and we all know that. But yeah, they are extraterrestrials. They are not from this planet. They are from the planet Sirius, and that is a water planet, of course, and they are here. Dolphins' job is to raise the vibration, you know, with their singing and their songs and their squeaks and their chirping. I don't know how else to call it. They are raising the vibrations of the oceans. Isn't that cool? It actually might say that in here too. I don't know. That's probably why I know that. But yeah, dolphins are very intelligent being. They're very healing. Being in the presence of one, you feel like you're almost in the presence of like this ultimate being, right? I don't know. For those of you, if you've ever gone and swam with dolphins, you know, you think back of the experience. When I went and swam, I went to Cuba, and me and my husband went out on this catamaran tour, and we went and swam with dolphins, and just being in the water with them, oh my gosh, it was like awe, a moment of awe. Like, I can't describe it in any other way. But when you look into their eyes, you connect with their soul and their song and their presence, and they see you and they see your presence and your soul. And it's like this exchange, right? It's so mind-blowing when you think about it. Okay. The guidance for this here. I'm going to read it from the book for what the dolphins have to say. So the wisdom of the dolphin card reminds you that you are special and a very highly evolved being. Throughout your long soul journey, you may not have been so faultless. We've all made mistakes. We've all done things that we regret, right? That's kind of what that means. So no one has, but that is the past. No one's been faultless, but that is the past. Now that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter in this now present moment, right? You are the light bearer carrying the sacred geometry keys and codes from this and other universes. That is super cool. So dance and play. Dance and play. That's how we get that excitement, that potential, that fun, that quirky kind of side, the weird stuff, right? Bring it out. Be weird. Be creative. Be artistic. Be whatever it is. Just allow that part of you to shine. That's how you raise your vibration, is allowing your light to shine, right? Do what makes your heart happy. Think about that. What makes your heart happy? How can you incorporate those little things? It doesn't have to be big. It can be simple. It can be just bite-sized things. But what makes your soul happy? What makes your heart happy? What lifts you up? Start doing those more. So the rest of it says, your task is to lighten up and be joyful and gracious and spread your wisdom, whatever that is. Bring through the gold ray of Christ, and you will automatically heal others. So when you are in that place of being present, this goes all the way back. See how all this reading is tying into each other? So going back to the beginning where I was talking about being present, being one, being harmonious with yourself, right? When you're in that place, you shine your light. It doesn't even, it's like that ripple effect that you have on the world, you don't even realize it. But your good mood then rubs off on somebody else, and they're all of a sudden in a good mood and they don't even know why. But you did that from being you, your authentic self, your true heartfelt desires. You're expressing your soul. Those things that you do light up the world without you even having to try. You don't even have to try. There's no effort. There's no forcing. There's no putting it out there, right? You just be you. And it's really that simple. And our brains like to overcomplicate things, which is so fascinating. Okay. So also know that no one is perfect. So keep your heart open and understanding. Keep your heart open with understanding and forgiveness. That is the Dolphin card. So live joyfully in the present. P, present, potential, possibilities. It's all there. Start activating those words. Just the thinking about those words even brings out the energy from them. And once you bring out the energy of them, after 17 seconds, it starts building momentum. And then another thought will connect to that first thought, right? That is so cool. So that is it for today. I hope that what you needed to hear, you got to hear today, and the messages that you needed to, you know, find those hidden treasures, get that gold out of it. I hope that you found that. If you did, please let me know. I'd love to know what part of this really resonated with you. And then if you're watching this on YouTube, please make sure to subscribe, like, and share. Share these messages with those that you feel that are going to benefit from it, because you just doing that one act of sharing, it could be the very thing that changed somebody's life or their projection of life or how they are, right? So it's a simple act, but it could be profound. Again, another P word. Oh, I'm on fire. Okay. Well, I send you so much love and so much light, and I will again see you very, very soon. Mwah. Take care for now. Bye-bye.